Hello! Oh, phone's going off. Typical. Oh, and subtitle working. Excellent. Hello, everyone. My name is Fiona. I use she, her pronouns, and this is Too Long Didn't Read Tabletop RPGs, an accountability stream in which I read through one of my RPGs that has been randomly selected from either the bookcase of Doom, the Google Drive of Mystery, and or any suggestions that people have given me. Hope you're doing well. I am, first of all, a massive apology for not doing the other streams I'm supposed to do this week. We had planned to do 3 streams this week, as always, but unfortunately on Monday night there was a massive thunderstorm, which was very exciting, but then it conked out the internet for quite a bit, which sucked, obviously, but I just thought it's just wise to make sure that the internet was back and working. It sort of came back sort of yesterday. And just to make sure that things were working, I had to get on with some other things as well. So I've rescheduled those streams. We were going to look at Skeletons for Sure and Rats, those two there. So I've rescheduled them for later on in August. So apologies about that, but I hope everyone is doing well, no matter where you are. And today's going to be probably quite a short one as a result. I realise that people aren't around on Fridays, which I totally understand. So we're just going to get back into it and just have a bit of a chill one, really. I don't suspect this is going to take more than an hour, but that's okay. That's what the random rolls do to us. So today, friends, we are looking at Today, friends, we are looking at a solo tabletop RPG journaling game called Green Skies, which was written by Small Red Robin 13. Where it's about you play a sentient building in a utopian future. How fun is that? This was randomly selected using the good old generator, and I didn't realise I actually already had this, so it's quite exciting. And yeah, I'm a massive fan, as always, of solo RPGs. I think, whilst and maybe not to everyone's taste, because a lot of the times when you do solo RPGs, there's a little bit more of a reflection. Often they are horror as well, just because of the nature of such things. But this one seems a really nice, charming, maybe uplifting one. So we're going to have a look at it. We're going to check it out in terms of what we like about it, what, if anything, we would change about it, and anything to do with accessibility, because we are looking at this as a digital format. And as it's a solo RPG, we should see if there's anything that could improve the experience of the solo RPG player. Some subtitles. I'm going to change the music. I think it's very grandiose, this music. I couldn't find any good music that was like just a gentle piano that was copyright free in the time I had. I know there's loads out there. Go onto any lo-fi channel, it'll be fine. Let's try let's try this one. Okay, it's a little bit spooky perhaps, but we'll go for it for now. And maybe I'll turn it up a teeny bit. It's a bit... maybe I'll just go back to my Strixhaven Waltzing Books one, because that's usually quite a nice one. If in doubt, Strixhaven's Waltzing Books by Travis Savour is good for it. Alright, there you go. I don't know why I doubted myself. This is such a nice piece of music. I will turn it up a little bit. There we go. There we go. All right, let's get right to it then, friends. I'm gonna switch it over to the game seed. So this is it. This week get an itch. I put it in the I have put it in the chat, and thank God I remember Nightbot. So yeah, Green Skies by Red Robin 13. As it says that, as always, we always check out the copy first. Actually, sorry, I forgot to do my disclaimers, didn't I? How rude of me. So I'm not sponsored to do this. This is an RPG I already had. And what I do, I like looking through RPGs and sharing my thoughts about it. So I'm not sponsored, so this is my first time looking at this. I do like solo RPG games, so maybe that's the only bias I have. What was I going to say? Not sponsored. Oh, I'm not a game designer at all. I haven't created any of my own games. I've played a lot of games. I've played a lot of solo RPG games as well. And anything I say is more of a critique rather than criticism. Obviously, I might completely miss everything to do with the game, and it could be completely wrong. So don't take my words as gospel. Always take them with a pinch of salt, because it's just one person's opinion. And I just like sharing my thoughts as I read aloud. And also, you're more than welcome to join in the chat if you're around as well. And then finally, content warnings. I suspect will be okay. As it says there, it's like you play a sentient building in a utopian future. So possibly it'd be fine. But as always, if you're like, not for me, this stream's not for me or whatever, take time away, step away, because you're more important than me reading out an RPG. So yeah, so this is a copy. We always start with looking at what the copy is to advertise a game. And the reason I do this, and I know I say this every time, but just in case you're new here, the reason I say this is because ideally you'd want to be able to sell your game. You've taken all this time to produce a really fun game and you want to get the word out about it. And sometimes there's some absolutely dreadful marketing copy which people will be like, oh, put off by it, and then they don't go and download a copy of the game, they don't go buy a copy, and it's such a real shame. So it is extra work around game design that I think people do miss out. And I'd also say as well, always get somebody else to write your own copy if you're in that position, whether you pay an editor or maybe ask a friend to play through it and then ask them for their thoughts, because then it's so much easier than writing about your own stuff. Similar thing, like always get somebody else to write your CV and then go back through it and change stuff, because they'll say things about you that you wouldn't think is true, but they believe it's true. It's very hard to be your own hype person. Anyway, let's read the bio. So Green Skies is what this RPG is called. So every morning, as the sun rises and the birds begin to sing in their nests, you awaken too. You hum through your morning protocols, running diagnostics on solar panels on your roof and watering the plants along your walls. Aside from the sound of the wind rustling through the leaves, it's quiet. Peaceful. Inside you, the residents begin to get up and go through their morning routines. Some shower using recycled rainwaters, others make themselves coffee and toast using solar power even. Eventually, most of them leave for work, leaving you to your own devices. In the basement, you recycle plastic and other materials. Any repairs that need to be made are made, and whatever is not used is given to those you need. Those you need it. Those who need it, probably, right? Now, whatever is not used is given to those you need it. Who needs it? So there you go. There's probably a mistake there in that copy. Your programming does not allow you to worry, but even if it did, you will have nothing to worry about. If you need more materials, others would gladly provide it. Outside, the sun shines on the city of green and steel. Where there may be grey concrete, artists have been hired to decorate it, and wherever possible, plants grow freely. This is your city, and these are your people. Nice. I must say that artwork here. So this is a copy of the front cover. It is tiny, I'm going to be honest. Look how small that is. It's a shame, because I would love that as a postcard. That's a beautiful watercolour you have there. It reminds me of those, I can't remember what they're called now. All those brutalist, terrace houses that you sometimes see in London, where they have balconies, and it's sort of like there's you go through the middle of it, and then you go up into the flats above. A little bit like the Barbican, actually. I think I do like brutalism. It's not to everyone's taste, but the Barbican, the National Theatre in London, great places. The Barbican centre, and then all that space around that. I just love it. I think it's just so interesting, and it's so green around there as well, along with the brickwork. So it says Green Skies is a solo tabletop role-playing game / journaling game where you play a sentient building in a utopian future. In this game, you must care for yourself, the people you care about, and your wider community. You play by writing about the residents and the problems you help them solve. There are also mechanics in place to help you help those around you outside of the game as well. Okay, what a weird last sentence. There are also mechanics in place to help you help those around you outside of the game as well. And the cover art by La Lil Illustrations. Oh, let's have a look at what their art is like. Oh, lovely, isn't it? Gosh, I always think people. Oh, I love eye work. Look at that. Gosh, gorgeous. Oh, go check them out. That's incredible. So it's about $4. So what's that? Maybe £2. £2, £2.50, something like that. Maybe even less than that. And you get this content as well. There's some community copies as well. That's quite nice. So if you want to, if your finances are a little bit of a barrier just now, go check out one of these. Your financial hardship. There you go. That's what the word I'm thinking of is. And 5 copies will be added to every month if you wish to pay in order to unlock an additional one. So that's quite cool. People giving across some community copies as well. So that's quite nice. Put on there. We'll have a look at the comments afterwards if there's any comments. Oh, there are some comments. Excellent. We can look at it afterwards. So yeah, there you go. So interesting so far. Let's just get straight into it then, shall we? Oh, that's me. Good job, Fiona. Gosh, you don't stream for like a week and then you forget everything. There we go. All right. So the PDF itself is actually quite short. It's only 8 pages long. But what a beautiful cover. I kind of wish this cover was on the itch page so we could see it. And I wish it was this big. Like, I just think because it's such a beautiful thing. Look at that beautiful, like, font used for this, for the title of the game. So good. So Green Skies, a solar punk game about kindness and caring for those around you. I don't think that was on the, yeah. That's such a shame. That's such a good tagline. As well, it tells you what the genre is, and it summarized what it is in one term. Like a nice tagline there. So I really like that. It's a shame they didn't use it in the actual copy. Oh, how cool is that? The sort of shadows of the leaves. Oh, that is so cool. Really cool. And it's got some acknowledgements as well. So what you will need something to write on with and possibly a 6-sided dice. Made for the Solar Punk and Applied Hope jams. Okay, interesting. I will say, I don't know about you will need, and I think you just not capitalize that first. Oh, oh no, there isn't. I wouldn't capitalize those things personally. But, yeah, there's some changes in capitalization there, so I would just run it through an editor perhaps. So look at the numbering as well, using that same font. That's really nice, that. Oh, very nice. Okay. Okay. Let's zoom in a little bit. Hopefully folks can read that. It's gonna say the same thing again. So to be fair, this is the copy on the outside. So morning routine. Every morning as the sun rises and the birds begin to sing in their nests, you awaken too. You hum through your morning protocols, running diagnostics on the solar panels on the roof and watering the plants along your walls. Aside from the sound of the wind rustling through the leaves, it's quiet, peaceful. Inside you, the residents begin to get up and go through their own morning routines. Some shower using recycled rainwaters, others make themselves coffee and toast using solar power, and eventually most of them leave for work, leaving you to your own devices. In the basement, you recycle plastics and other materials. Any repairs that need to be made are made, and whatever is not used is given to those you need it. No, it's you. Those who need it. Those who need it. Okay. Your programming does not allow you to worry, but even if it did, you would have nothing to worry about. If you need more materials, others would gladly provide it. Ooh. Outside, the sun shines on a city of green and steel. Where there might be grey concrete, artists have been hired to decorate it, and wherever possible, plants grow freely. This is your city, and these are your people. I wonder if I zoom out a little bit, she says, trying to find a zoom out button. I might personally have made this a little bit bigger and moved it down centered a little bit. Maybe I have a bit of a gap under morning routine, because obviously this is like the epilogue. I just think the text is a little bit hard to read on this background, so I would just make it like a font like 0.2 or 3 bigger. No, 1 or 2 bigger, not 3. That'd be silly. But, okay. Alright, the game itself, so. Here we go. So, the game. In Green Skies, you play a Green Skies apartment complex, a sentient building in a hopeful, eco-friendly future. How you have been made sentient is up to you. You are designed to be as sustainable as possible, with plants growing on your side, along with solar panel and recycled water. You also have residents living within you, going about their daily lives. Part of your role is to keep a log of your actions hidden deep within your code. You play by slowly building up your stories and caring for those around you and inside your building. Each year, you complete the following sections: tend to yourself, tend to your stories, and tend to others. Each of these actions can be taken in any order you want, but every action must be taken before the year ends. The game itself can last as long as you want, but a completed game usually has 13 stories, and you can gather 13 stories over several years. Before you begin the game, you must build yourself and build your first stories. Interesting. I like it. Again, like I said, solo RPGs tend to be very reflective, and also about the individual, the protagonist, and also as a result, usually goes on to the horror stuff as well. So seeing this as it's like, no, it's eco-friendly, everything's positive. I mean, instantly my brain goes, not all of it, so there must be something hidden somewhere. But if you just played it completely grounded, I think this could be quite interesting. Because it doesn't mean these stories have to be happy and positive. It could be there's some little bit of conflict and stuff like that, but you are a separate entity to that. So that's interesting. It's not about you per se, it's about the stuff happening within you, and feeling that turmoil and seeing it play out. That's interesting. I like the fact as well, it doesn't make a big deal about like how you're sentient. It's like, up to you. If you want to say how that's the case, go for it. If not, not. Like I said, I'm a big fan of like leaving some things unanswered. Because I always find if you have an answer for everything, there's nothing, it's not exciting if everything's explained. There's no mystery, there's no wondrous thing happening. So, there you go. I was going to say something else as well. What was it? Tend to yourself, tend to your stories, and tend to others. Interesting. And it puts yourself in there as well, so you have to think about you, the building, as well, because there's a phrase that got told to me ages ago by my friend Ali, and she said, don't set yourself on fire to keep other people warm. And it was one of those things where you're like, oh my god, I am a people pleaser. There's only so much you can do, and so much you can shape yourself around other people's schedules and stuff. You need to look after number one as well, which is you. Because if you can't look after yourself and keep yourself warm, how are you going to keep anyone else warm? So don't set yourself on fire to keep other people warm. I just thought that was such a great phrase. I know there's another one my friend Holly used to say. It was a bit more, had more expletives in it. Okay, so building yourself. So first things first, you must decide what you are like. You can do this by answering the following questions. What do you look like? How do you view yourself? Are you a fully fledged AI with emotions, or simply a highly advanced mainframe? How do the residents view you? What does the area around you look like? And feel free to draw a quick sketch of the surrounding area. You know what I did forget to do? Let's go back a little bit. I know it's quite a short one, this one. Yeah, there is no alt text, unfortunately, which is such a shame. Look at the detail of this beautiful watercolour. Oh, it's gorgeous. I do know, though, that to have something that has so much greenery must take so much hard work from various gardeners and watering and all that sort of thing. Okay, so again, character creation is so reflective. There's no, like I said, like it's just more like writing stuff down and having this sort of idea of who you are in mind and that sort of thing, rather than necessarily rolling dice. It said you possibly have 1d6. So this could be a very narrative game with very few like actual mechanics in it, which is good, which is interesting. So building your first stories. Everyone has a backstory. In the same way, each resident occupying the floors of your building have a story of their own. At the beginning of the game, you are what is considered a low-rise building, meaning that you have 1 to 4 stories. Oh, it's a play on the word stories. Interesting. If you want, you can add an element of change by using a 4-sided dice to determine how many you have. When you reach 5 to 12 stories, you are a mid-rise building. And when you have 13 plus, you are a high-rise building. And as a general rule, there is 1 residence per story. Upon deciding how many stories you have, record the names of the residents in each story, as well as their age and some details about their personality. You can also draw a floor plan of their homes if you wish. Well, that's quite cool. That could be quite fun to do, as a nice sort of sketching thing. It is recommended you include a diverse array of residents, as it makes the game more interesting. It would be nice to see like some examples, or maybe a link to where you could have something generate a floor plan for you. I'm sure there is places like that, or even like go, type into DeviantArt if that's still a thing, or anything like that, and you can see people who've created. Oh, you know what? Actually, a good shout would be going to like the Sims community mod, and and seeing people's homes and seeing the floor plans for those. That could be something quite interesting. Tending to yourself. You must extend the same kindness you extend to others to yourself. Record what repairs or upgrades you make on yourself and how it affects you. You may also use this time to add a new story. As you complete this part of the entry, think about one small act of self-care you could do. If you want, you can write this act down in a different colour. Oh, interesting. It would be nice if that was actually in a different colour itself, that line. Once this part is finished, go and do that act of self-care. Then you can move on. Now, is it talking about you, the person, doing that act of self-care? Like, for example, if it was like running diagnostics. So it could be like, running diagnostics and making a list of all the places where you feel, what's the word? Oh, you do it in yoga. It's just like it's a body scan. It's a body scan, right? You close your eyes and you like scan down your body and you try and, you focus on things like, your knees hurt, or your lower back, or like I had something here recently. One of my ribs, I think, was bruised from something. I don't know what I did, and I could feel that pain. And so it's like acknowledging that you have that pain and then just putting it aside for now. So like, where are you holding that tightness? Where are you holding that stiffness as well? So maybe that's the same thing here. So you could have almost like an what's the word? An analogy for like you, the person, and you, the building. What would be nice here, I think, was having like a little maybe examples of stuff. So like cleaning the windows for you is like go for an eye test. I don't know. Or clean the outside of the building, maybe a face mask and facial, that sort of thing. That could be quite fun, actually. I wish there were some examples, just to, again, maybe a D6 of examples. Tending to your stories. The residents of each story also require attention. Record what problems they have and how you help them. As you do so, think about those close to you and how you might be able to help them or do something kind for them. This could be something as simple as sending them a funny meme. Oh wow. Or something more complicated, such as helping them repair their house. If it has the potential to be inconvenient for them, be sure to ask if they want the help first. Once you have done this, you can move on. Interesting. So this game is sneakily trying to help you fix not only the life of these fictional people, but help out with other people in your own life. I think I would have liked an introductory paragraph saying, hey, it is a bit more meta than you think it is, perhaps. But it's true. Again, a table of stuff. For example, checking in on a friend, organizing or sending them a message is like a small bit of kindness. Checking in on them, that sort of thing. Making them dinner, running an RPG for them, etc. Again, it would be nice to have some examples here. I really love these shadows of the plants. I think that's really cool. And then tending to others. You may be a building, but you are not an island. There are other buildings with other stories around that also require assistance. Should you need it, they'll also help you. Record how the other buildings need help and what you do to help them. And as you do so, think about how you could help your wider community. This could be as simple as dropping some loose change in a donation box, or something larger like volunteering weekly. If you want, you can write down your task in a different colour. Again, would have been cool to have that here as a different colour. When you have completed that aspect of the entry, carry out the task you thought of, and once you have done this, you can move on. Again, here would be, for me, tending to others, it would be like donations. So we've got obviously a financial donation there, but for example, I recently gave quite a lot of stuff that we had in the house to Goodwill, because we were very lucky that we got some gifts from family and stuff like that, and it replaced quite a lot of our kitchenware, which my partner's had since college, and I was like, great, let's give them to someone we need. It took us a little while as well. We were kind of stuck with all this extra stuff on the tabletop, but I felt so good to give it away because I didn't want to throw it away because they were still like useful and stuff. And so if somebody needed like, kitchenware and stuff. So that's the thing. Again, it would be cool to have some examples of this, and maybe like a way to translate them from the in-game self-care thing to the out-of-game in real life self-care. Finishing the game. At any time you so choose, you can finish the game. Although you may have walked away, this does not mean the building shuts down and the residents leave. It simply means the building has stopped making logs, at least for the time being. They will remain until you are ready to return. Again, that's so. I've realised now. I go back up. That solar point game about kindness and caring for those around you. That's where it's trying to indicate that you're doing it in your real life as well. Interesting. Okay. Alright, where were we? Page 7. Whoop. Modifying the game. This is a game that is ultimately about kindness and caring for others. This is something that is not limited to one setting. Change the setting and story as you please until you find a version you like. And then I saw the last page. It doesn't have anything on it, which is a bit of a shame. But it's got a beautiful like stone texture on it there and some imagery there. But there you go. That's literally it. Like I said, it's 8 pages long. Right, let's think about it. I feel like this has potential, right? What I would say, it's not a game, right? It is just a way to. It is a self-care journaling game. In the guise of you are a building. I kind of wish there was examples of it. Like, I might go and get it in a second, but it's like a book I read ages ago called How to Be More D&D by Kat Kruger, who is a great actual play person and has wrote for D&D. Hey, my friend, how you doing? Don't want to distract from the stream, but before you get deep into it, I noticed, a few days ago, happy first year to the Too Long Didn't Read Tabletop RPG University on YouTube. Oh, thank you. I've been with you literally since the beginning when you randomly popped up. I won't gush too much, but as a fan viewer, the happiness your stream brings to the day-to-day life. Oh, that is so kind. That's so kind. I actually did not realise it had been a year. I think, because I think I stopped in the middle for a little bit. I think I had like a month or two off, so I didn't realise that. But thank you so much. Thank you so much. I didn't realise it had been a year, and I'm glad that these streams are interesting. You know what I mean? And they're helpful, and I'm glad that it's just something a little bit different to the day grind. And you don't have to gush at all. Thank you so much. You know what? I would recommend appreciate. I've just had a really lovely compliment, so I very much appreciate it. But I do think if you enjoy someone's work online, do tell them, as you said, say it in the chat or buy their artwork or share their stuff, because it is actually quite a lonely job creating this sort of content. It is one of those things where you do it, and you whether you do it for money, not really. Who makes money in tabletop RPGs, right? Or if you do it for you enjoy something, etc. That's great. So thank you so much. I very much appreciate it. And I'm glad it's made a difference. I know not all of these streams have been great. And I know I've been trying new things as well. Like I said, this is a way for me to try stuff and for me to read stuff. So I hope you've had some interesting TTRPG, that seems interesting. Anyway, I know you distracted from the stream, but I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, my friend. Green Skies, what do you think? I think what I like about this game, I think it's very beautiful. I love the watercolours. I do wish there was some alt text. I wish there was more of it. I think this feels like a very good first, here's an idea. I really like the interior art. And I like the message it's trying to give. I think you need examples. As I was saying, the how to be more D&D. What was good about it, because it was a, in quotes, self-help book. I know sometimes that is a negative connotation and stuff like that. And it certainly is maybe punched down a little bit. But what I liked about it was that it talked about the 3 tenets of D&D. Exploration, puzzles, and adventuring. I think those are the ones, right? No, combat, exploration, social encounters, all that sort of thing. And it talked about how to change it and how to challenge your life in those 3 ways. And then it talked about if you're a rogue, you should think about this, and this. How do you put yourself in your life? And it gave examples of stuff. Actually, I wonder if I can. I'm going to try and grab it before I forget, because I want to actually maybe have a look at it again. It's a way to expand the stream a little bit, other than it's been 30 minutes. There we go. And I'll go to Big Fiona screen for a brief bit. So there we go. So that's what it is. How to be more. God, this is. No, the camera's not going to change. But yeah, how to be more D&D. Face your dragons, be more adventurous, and live your best geeky life by Kat Kruger. And yeah, it's like, you know, it's just interesting, and it, you know, it talks about like, you know, how to be the dungeon master of your own life and all that sort of thing. But I think it's written in such a way, it's such an accessible way. And there was, I was going to say, there was definitely, there you go, there was like descriptions about each class. And like, how do you identify it in each one, and how you can multi-class and all that sort of thing. But as a way that was positive, and I think it gave examples as well. There was another book that I'm reading just now, which is like the life lessons I've learned from TTRPGs, which is doing something similar, which we're reading for something else just now. So yeah, interesting. So yeah, I'd recommend checking that out. And if I know not everyone's a D&D fan, but Kat Kruger, I interviewed her for DM's Book Club, and I thought she was great. And she was really interesting about her show, whose show I cannot remember off the top of my head. It will tell me by looking in the back. Hero Crest, no. Uncaged Unfollowed is the thing I've had. D20 Dames. D20 Dames was like the first ever, in my head, first ever family-friendly D&D show. But it wasn't just like, oh, don't swear. It was like, okay, maybe we don't meet in a tavern because not everyone will be old enough to drink, you know, and maybe people find certain monsters quite scary. So actually she talked about like how you design a family-friendly show that isn't just not swearing. And I was like, of course, family-friendly shows aren't just about they're not, you know, it's not just like we'll just take the swearing out. We have to think about certain themes and stuff like that, and making it accessible for everyone. Because that's the thing, like things like Critical Role and Dimension 20 aren't necessarily family-friendly. That's okay. So anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, so I think Green Skies, if I go back to it, Green Skies, I like the idea behind it. I wish there was a bit more to it. I don't know why you'd need the... I guess the D6 was like to give you more... What's it say? Oh, a 6-sided dice. That was to give you more stories, right? No, building. If you want to add more, use a 4-sided dice. Oh, so, okay. There's some inaccuracies as well, right? There's some... like, again, a few bits of, like... Again, I don't know if this person's... sorry, the game designer's language is... if English is their second language or anything like that, so there's that as well. I don't wish to sort of... But again, just a quick copy edit of certain things and just checking things, like... I think I would also suggest some prompts and have a play example, for example. And I'd even have, like, links to places where you could, like images of different kinds of high-rise buildings. Like, you know, have, like... It'd be cool to have this person... the illustrator here, we've done this example one, right? If you had a couple other different ones, like the small rise, medium rise, and high rise, and like, could you unlock certain things every time you did this thing? Like, if you completed, I don't know, 3 stories, then you get another thing you unlock, like a I was going to say mindfulness classes, which probably isn't you know, flexible working, good internet, I don't know. Yeah, because ultimately this game, it's not a game, right? It is just a way for you to think about, like, okay, I'm in the building, I have to think about these people. How can I translate to my real life right now? Which is always good. I think it's... Sometimes we need these thought process, and we need these frameworks to help us work through tough things going on in our own lives. So I very much appreciate, like, this sort of thing. Yes. So there you go. I do love the shadow effect. I think it's a really cool, and it's not intrusive. If anything, it makes up for the lack of images, right? So there's something I've said before, is like sometimes there's massive gaps, this white space that people do not use. And I feel like you should use as much of the page as possible, especially if people are printing this stuff out, right? Or images or anything like that. Like, but here, imagine if you had... You don't need them on every page, to be fair. but it just really adds to it. It makes me feel like, yeah, I'm looking at a wall, a building wall on that front. And you can see almost like the texture, which is quite nice. But yeah, there you go. And modifying the game. So again, the modifying game, I like that idea. It's just opening up, again, some examples. Like, obviously this is like a utopian sentient building, but maybe you want to be like, okay, easiest one would be like a castle in a high fantasy setting. All right, that's one. But what if you're like a small town in the middle of the desert, and it is the community center? You know, again, having tables to roll stuff, just to randomize, just to help people get started. That's the only thing I'd say. Because otherwise, this is just a nice thing to read. And there you go. Well, there you go. That's it. I'm so sorry. It was very, very short. It's not the shortest one we've done, to be fair. I think that was the coffee one we did. I think it was okay. Would I play this? No. But I think it's just because there's not a crunch for me. There's no like me to discover something. I think, and I feel like I do need one or two prompts just to help me like lift off and go. But I like the idea behind it for sure. So yeah, there you go. If you're interested, just check it out. I mean, appreciate it's only 8 pages long, but if you want to go support Small Red Robin 13, go check out their work. I'll just put this in the chat. Go check out their work. Go check out the illustrator's work as well. I think this is such a cracking image. I think that, yeah, that's the other thing as well. If I go back to yeah, is that the actual page itself doesn't advertise too much. Like, again, I wish this image was at the top and they had green skies like that banner. You know what we should do? Let's have a look at the reviews as well, in the nicest way possible, and see what it says. Because again, there's lots of free community copies as well. Just started playing this today and really enjoy the concept. Might include the building in other games once I'm done. I enjoy world building through playing games. That's a really good point. Making a building, because we've talked about this before with other games, other solo games where you create characters and create two characters that have backstory and that they could appear later on in a different campaign. A way to create a building. Oh, I like that. That's such a good idea. So Damien Odson, cracking name. And a game that focuses around care and kindness, lovely focus, and such lovely cover art too. Fair enough, fair enough. I wonder what Small Robin has done. What else they have done? No, is things just not loading, or is it just being very slow? But very deep. Let's have a look. See there, the Grinlilo, Monsters 2, Monster Heart 2 skin. Oh, lights, camera, drama. Hello, that sounds fun. Yes. God makers, some world building games. There's some. So yeah, they've written quite a few games, haven't they? Amazing. What Stars Remain over here? A game about grief and dead gods. That's interesting. Fedoras and feelings. Nice. Nice. That's cool. Man, fuck this year. A wretched and alone game about trying to get by. Ah, very cool. Very cool. Well, there you go. There you go. That is... Oh, is this... I was going to say, are these working? These things? There's no images here, so... Still loading. I think my internet's still a bit on and off the... On and off the thing, I think. Excuse me. Well, there you go, friends. Thank you so much for joining me briefly for this Friday stream. I will be back next week properly. Hopefully the internet won't give out on me as it did this week. Next time, I will tell you what we're looking at, which is very exciting. As I said, the two streams that were meant to, the other two streams I was meant to do this week, the skeletons and rats, I've rescheduled for August because I do want to still do them, and I always feel bad when I can't do the ones that I promised to do because I, made all the effort to make the bloody stream. So. Ooh, next week we have, on Tuesday, we have Public Access. Very excited about this game. This is another game by the Gauntlet. So if we always have to do the mention of the Between, don't we? Brindlewood Bay. This is Jason Cordova's latest game. And I'll read it out for you. So Public Access is a tabletop role-playing game about a group of people in 2004, the Deep Lake Latchkeys, who find themselves investigating strange mysteries in or around the town of Deep Lake, New Mexico. In the early 80s and early 90s, the Deep Lake was the home to a notorious public access television show called TV Odyssey, the history and fate of which, the station literally disappeared, is the source of much speculation in certain corners of the internet. As the Latchkeys conduct their investigations in Deep Lake, they will become increasingly aware of the central role TV Odyssey plays in everything that's going on, and will have to face whatever terrible truth lies at the heart of the infamous station. So I really like it. It's more eldritch horror, it's more creepypasta than Brindlewood Bay and the Between. So, and it uses the same system, but we're going to look at it because I think it came upon the random thing. We then have something called Canon. We're going to look through on Thursday. It says here, Canon is a game about myths and oral cultures, the relationship between a culture and the stories it tells. How stories, traditions develop, and the stories that give rise to endless and conflicting interpretations. I'll try and pronounce that word. It's oh no, not gonna try. It's been a week, hasn't it? And then finally, next Friday, we're also going to look at Together/Alone. So this is it says a single envoy arrives in a new land intent on inviting the government and people to join in an alliance with theirs. A local greets them and offers to lead them to the capital. To get there, they must journey together alone, sharing tales of their people and themselves along the way. Together Alone explores the stories we tell about our collective and personal history, and how they may be seen as reflective of us en masse, and how the assumption may feel to the individual. It's a GM-less two-player game about cross-cultural connection through storytelling. So there you go, 3 incredibly different games we're going to look at next week, which I'm very excited about. So yeah, tune in. They are going to be, so as I said, the Too Long Didn't Read streams are currently Tuesdays, Thursdays and Fridays, starting at 11 p.m. Central Time and then 5 p.m. BST, or check your local time zones. If I'm unable to do it, it's probably because the internet's gone out rather than anything else. I do try and do at least 2 hours when I can. Yeah, that's it. If you've enjoyed this, which I appreciate, is there an email you'd feel comfortable sharing to send a fan mail? I know about the Discord though. Oh, that's very kind of you. Well, I'll put the link to it. So we've got. So I run What Am I Rolling, which is a twice monthly tabletop RPG one-shot podcast. There should be an email in the link tree there that you can go check out. If not, there'll be definitely one. If you go to the link tree in the press kit, there is an email there. So please go check it out. I very much appreciate it. That's very kind of you. That's very kind of you to say. If you're like, Fiona, I don't care about any of these TTRPGs, just give me the stuff about the 50th anniversary of D&D. You're like, yes, I understand. There is the DM's Book Club, a weekly book club podcast where we talk about some Dungeons & Dragons and discuss how we might include such lore in our role-playing campaigns. We know D&D is not for everyone. There's no one RPG for everyone. That's why we cover so many of them on this channel. But the stories it tells could inspire us to tell our own stories, because there's so much of it out there. So go check out What Am I Rolling and the DM's Book Club. Yeah, the link tree should have access to all the stuff. And yeah, if you want to send me an email, there should be an email for both podcasts on there, and I will definitely get it. So thank you very much. Is there anything else to say? There is a Discord as well, as was rightly pointed out. Check out the Discord. It's fun. It's always a little bit quiet, but that's just because of getting on with a few things. But we've got a little community there. People just chatting through games and excitingly suggesting new ones for this. The final thing to say is that I will be at Gen Con the first weekend of August in Indianapolis. It'll be my first time working on a con, first time being at Gen Con, which I'm very excited about. I'm going to be running some games for Rowan, Rook and Descartes, who we featured on this channel a couple of times already this year, and for lots on the podcast as well. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I'll also be selling some of their stuff. I think they've got 2 stands. I'll be on the Eat the Reich stand, which is their latest game that they're sort of pushing out. So I'll be talking about that, and I got the handbook, which I was very excited to read through today. So yeah, that's that. Is there anything else I've got to say? No, that's it. I'm gonna end the stream there. Yeah, 45 minutes. Oh well. Well, look, the internet seems to be back, so that is good. Thank you so much, friends, for chatting with me today, for checking out my stuff. And yet, like I said, there is a full playlist of all the Too Long Didn't Reads. They're not all great. Not just because of the RPGs. All the RPGs I find that you always can get something interesting out of them. So please go check out any that pick your fancy. But I appreciate the quality of all these streams is just a bit hodgepodge, a bit patchy. But we're trying our best. We're always learning here. So anyway, have a wonderful rest of your Fridays wherever you are. I hope you have a wonderful weekend playing whatever games you have planned. And I will see you back next Tuesday for public access. There you go. All right, I'm going to end the stream, get to the button, I'm going to wave, and I'll see you next time. Bye!